books that I've read recently, more specifically everything I read in January and February. I feel like I can't do these every month because I'm not reading like 10, 12 books a month. I'm just reading a few each month. So doing these every couple of months I think would work out perfectly. But yeah, that's the plan for today's video. Now let's go ahead and jump right in. So I think I'm going to start with the books I read first and just go in order up until recently. So the first book I've already talked about probably like too many times at this point, is A Court of Mist and Fury. I got this for Christmas and I started reading it and didn't finish it until January, so I'm including it in this video. And since I've already spoken about this so many times, I just want to say that this is my favorite book in the ACOTAR series as of now. This was everything to me and so much more. The first three top favorites. I'm currently reading Silver Flames, and again, per my last video, I'm not a huge fan of Nesta. But so far, it's a good read, so it doesn't hit like this one did. I won't speak too much about the ACOTAR series because I do have two other books, just because I don't want to spoil any of these books for anybody, and I've already talked at length about this one specifically, so all I'm gonna say is I love it. This still is my favorite series I've ever read, and I think it's gonna be hard to dethrone that for me personally. Everyone's telling me that I need to read the Throne of Glass series, but I do want to read that, but for some reason it doesn't draw me in as much. I heard it's not much of a romantasy as this one is, and that's kind of my thing. I don't know, we'll see. I'll check it out and we'll see. I don't know if you're reading that series. Let me know your genuine thoughts on it. I'm a romance girl. I love my romance books, specifically romantasy, kind of like this, so I love a dark romance too. So yeah. Any recommendations though, I would love to hear them. So yeah, this is the first book I read and finished in January, and then right after that I immediately had to go into A Court of Wings and Ruin, which is my other favorite in the series. This one is very action-packed. Again, I don't want to give too much away. I know pretty much everyone has read this series at this point, but for those that haven't and want to, I don't want to say too much. It's very action-packed. It keeps you on your toes. It makes you want to keep reading. This is a book where after every chapter, I'm like, okay, this will be the last chapter, and then I'm like, no, one more chapter, and then one more chapter. This is definitely like the most action-packed, I'd say, out of the books I've read so far. Then again, I'm just in the very beginning of Silver Flames. I'm hearing some things that might be happening in that book, so I don't know, we'll see, but so far this is my favorite for the action out of the four that I've read. books as well, and something about the dragons, just, I don't know, it doesn't really do it for me. The only dragons I'm really interested in reading about was the one from Lord of the Rings, so I don't know. And I've heard a lot of mixed reviews about the second book, so I don't know if I'll be picking that one up anytime soon, but I've been recommended that one a few times and seen like tons and tons of book talk stuff about it, but I don't know, it just doesn't draw me in. And this is a thick book. They pretty much all are, except for the next one I'm about to show you. So that was the second book I read in January, and then the last ACOTAR book that I have completed is A Court of Frost and Starlight, which is their little holiday novella. I still loved this one. It just was probably my least favorite out of the four. I love the story so much that I still loved it. It's just my least favorite of the four. And in this one, they start getting into other character perspectives as well. So, the writing was kind of confusing. I prefer like one style, either first person all the way through or third person all the way through. This had a mix of both first and third, which was kind of screwing with me. I don't love that. I'm not a huge fan of third person, but if it's from start to finish third person, I can get used to it. I just feel like there's a better connection to the character when it's in first person. That's just a personal preference, my personal opinion. Everyone has their own preferences as far as reading and reading style goes. That's just mine. And I don't like a mix of the two. I just like one specific way of writing start to finish. So that kind of irritated me a little bit about this. And I think that's why I put it lower on my list. I won't spend much time on this because it just, it was fine. Next, I got into a book I've been hearing about for quite a while, and this is Icebreaker by Hannah Grace. I love the cartoon kind of cover on her books. I think they're so cute. And at this point, I decided to take a break from ACOTAR because I knew what I was in for going into Silver Flames, and like I said before, I didn't really like Nesta, so just needed a breather before I had to dive into her negative mindset and stuff. But this was, to me, such a fun read. I really liked this. I love hockey, okay? Like, I'm all about the hockey trope. I just loved everything about this book. And it was just a very, like, lighthearted, fun read. It wasn't, insane writing by any means. But it felt modern and with the times, and I really liked that. this one definitely delivered in that aspect. I love smutty books. I like dark romance. I like romantasy, any kind of romance, really. Yeah, so I love a good thriller too, suspense. That's kind of the lane that I like to stay in. So, yeah, I just wanted to say that. I'm not some hardcore critic either. I'm a serial 5-star giver when it comes to reading. It's not that deep and it's not that serious to me. So if I like it and my attention is grabbed throughout the entire book, it's a 5. I think it would be fun at this point to put a book emoji down below if you're still hanging out with me. And that'll be today's secret emoji. I haven't done that in a while. And this is a dual perspective, by the way. And it's first person, which is my favorite. Okay, so that was Icebreaker. The next book that I'm going to talk about is not only the most gorgeous book in my collection, but it is also one of my favorites that I've ever read. So that book is Gothicana by Runix. Not entirely sure how to pronounce the author's name, but I'm just gonna go with that for now. How beautiful is this dust cover artwork? And then we have the dark purple sprayed edges. This book is stunning. Not only that, but the inside is just as beautiful because there's this super colorful part inside of the cover, and then something that I love is that each new chapter, let me see if I can find it for you. There is a black and white image with a quote, and every new chapter page is like this. It is so beautiful. I've been hearing some people on Book Talk saying that they hated this book, and I'm just like, how? Again, it's all perspective, but me, I ate this book up and then some. I loved it so much. So, it says on the cover, A Tale of Dark Romance. And the main trope is kind of a forbidden love romance, if you will, because it's between it's a dark academia setting, and it's between a professor and a newer student that's older. She gets invited to this school, and that's all I'm gonna really say, because I will give stuff away if I say too much. But the premises of this book is that it's like a forbidden love with the professor. There's also a murder mystery intertwined into it, so there's some suspense. It's a psychological thriller. There's romance, there's smut. It's just a very well-rounded book, and I think the reason why I liked this so much is because it is all the tropes this and loving it so much, I feel like I need to chase that high again and find something similar. I really wish this wasn't a standalone, and I wish it was a series, but the last line of this book kind of could insinuate that it potentially could have a sequel. We'll see though. I doubt it, but it gave me a little hope. But yeah, this book was my favorite read for sure. Aside from Mist and Fury, we already know that though. And let me show you what the actual book looks like, because it's also really pretty. So here's the hardcover. It's got the gold name of the school that the book is about. And then we've got it in the gold writing. Personally though, I think the dust cover is stunning, but the actual book is beautiful as well. And I love the dark purple sprayed edges. It's just so pretty. And I loved both of the main characters in this book. And the way that this author wrote the male love interest main character. Love. It was so good. That's all I can really say. I don't want to give anything away. But if you're into gothic, dark academia, forbidden romance, dark romance, thriller, suspense, check this one out. And if I'm not mistaken, this is the first edition print run of this book with the, why can't I think of the word? The publisher. So that's really cool, and I think that's why it's in this like special edition cover and sprayed edges and everything, so that's cool. So yeah, that was Gothicana. 10 out of 10 for me, 5 stars, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 stars if I could. Loved this one so much. And last but not least, I read The Silent Patient. A subscriber gifted this to me a little while back, and I finally got to it. And I liked it. It was really good. I will say the plot twist kind of messed with me a little bit. Definitely took me for a loop. I think I gave this one 4 stars. But this one's been around for a while. I'm sure a lot of people have already read it or know what this is about. But essentially the premise of this book is about a patient, a woman who supposedly killed her husband and never spoke again. And it kind of uncovers the truth about what happened that day, so it kept my attention and I really enjoyed reading it. Probably wasn't my favorite book I've ever read, but I thought it was good, that's why I gave it 4. guys.